So this 2, this first 2 here, what is that doing? Shifts up. 2, right? So now, instead of kind of like our center line being here at 0, now our graph is shifted. Now tangent is up here, right? Now the point of inflection is up at 2, right? Okay, and let's see what else we got going on here. We got a negative, a -2, we got a minus, right? What's that? Reflects, right? About the x-axis, right? So that means instead of being up and to the right, down and to the left, now actually what we have is up and to the, which way? Right or left? Up and to the left and down and to the right. Okay? Okay. Now the 2, what's that? Amplitude, right? Alright, now for amplitude, really 4 and 0, right? Now for tangent and cotangent, it's kind of hard to, pi over 2, and pi over 4. It's kind of hard to see, okay, if you go up and to the right, you know, it's kind of hard to draw that curve. As long as you identify that the amplitude is 2, you know, I'm not going to be really too worried about how that's going to look on the graph, because I know, I mean, look at this. You know what I mean? So as long as you can show me that you know the amplitude's 2, that's all I'm going to ask for that. Okay, I'm not going to be too worried about if it looks like 2 on the graph. All right. Here's pi over 2. All right, what else we got? Factor up k, right? Which in this case is what? Pi, right? Okay, so here we've got, that means we're going to have y equals to 2 minus 2 tangent. And we're going to factor out pi, right? Which means we're going to have x plus what? 1/2, right? Good. Okay? Which means k is what value? Pi. And our period is 1. Good. Because that's pi over k, right? Which is going to be pi over pi. And that's 1. So now, instead of negative pi over 2, pi over 2, now what that means is our period is, instead of pi, it's 1, right? So instead of negative pi over 2, it's negative 1/2, right? And positive 1/2 and negative 1/4 and positive 1/4. Okay?
Why did it change to 1/2?
Because the period is now 1, right? Because k is not a number. I mean, it's pi, right? So now you're canceling the pi's out, right? Now pi's are canceling, and now you're just left with, it's not in terms of pi anymore. Now it's 1, right? Well, pi is a number, right? Pi is 3.14. So instead of being pi, instead of being a period of pi, right, which would be negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, it's a period of 1. So that would make it negative 1/2 and a positive 1/2. Okay, if it was 2, then it would be negative 1 and a positive 1, and so on. Okay. Okay. So that shift is which way? Left, alright, by a factor of 1/2. Okay, so that means we're going to add or subtract. Everything. Well, we've already got -1/2, right? And -1/4, and don't forget 0, and +1/4, and 1/2, right? We've already figured out if we multiply everything by denominators by k, then we already got that. So now we're going to subtract -1/2, right? So now we've got a minus what? 1. So now our graph has shifted, right? Instead of being at -1/2, right? Now it's at, here's -1/2. Now it's at negative, our asymptote is at -1, right? Okay, so we keep going. Subtract -1/2, subtract 1/2, I mean. And then so that, we need a common denominator, right? 2/2. And so that'll be a negative what? 3/4, right? So instead of -1/4, now we have a -3/4, right? Okay. And here's 2. So, okay, let's keep going. -1/2, and so we get our point of inflection, right? Instead of crossing at 0, right? Now it's crossing at where? -1/2, right? Okay, so that means our curve is up and to the left, and then we don't know, I'm not really sure where it's going to cross here, or if it is at all. Okay, so let's keep going. -1/4 -1/2, right? And so that'll be -1/4, right? Okay, and then 1/2 -1/2. Our right asymptote is at 0, right? Okay? Alright. Ones on the test aren't going to be this hard, but if you can do this one, then you're in really good shape. Okay? So don't worry. Try to get as much of this as you can, and it'll help you to prepare for the test. Okay? Alright. Anything else? Okay, that will do it for today's